creepy and weird. Sluts selling butts, them buttholes done been sold. Dogs breeding like bugs, rabbits are coat hangers. Killers killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Oh. Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 News.
Yeah, this time it wasn't any kind of weird audio thing. It was some complete idiot move of muting the mic because, while the song played and I would cough and stuff. And then I forgot to turn it on. Thank you for the, I can't even read. Debt left gross. All right, hopefully I can be heard now. That's what I would hope. Let me check. You never know with anything, especially with me. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. So let me start over. Tonight, torture, murder, and the death of the human Barbie doll. Seems like there's been several of those, over the years. They get the plastic surgery wanting to look like the doll. I think there was even a Ken doll. The guy wanted to look like Ken doll. Anyway, this lady's passed away, so we'll discuss that story. But in the end, it was Margot Robbie who got cast as Barbie doll in the movie. So isn't technically she the human Barbie doll? Well, I mean, she played. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Tyler the Perfect Storm. Ethan Ralph is having a big festival where all Mersha's A-loggers are going to roast him. Okay. I don't know much about it. I saw some of the clips, but I don't even really know what the deal is. So the Perfect Storm. Oh, so a retard fight. Well, okay. Okay, everybody's F Mersh Day. What is that? I mean, what? So everybody's mad at Mersh? I don't know. He didn't do anything to me, so why should I pile on? You know. Ethan has the caseworker that worked Mersh's molestation case coming on his show. It's going to be, oh, good Lord. Well, I'll let them deal with that. Meanwhile, I'm here to give you the news no one else is talking about. Well, obviously, law and crime, smoking gun, people, New York Post. But other than them, it's just me. They do all the hard work, and then I read it. Yeah, that's what I do. My crack staff managed to get these stories. But hey, why do I have torture in the title? Well, that'll be our first story. Oh, yes. Half-naked woman was allegedly tortured and chained in Texas backyard for months by 5 friends who didn't like her anymore. Well, I mean, you could just, was she living with him? And you could just kick her out of the house. Anyway, a half-naked woman was allegedly tortured and chained in the backyard of a Texas home for months, leading to the arrest of 5 people who allegedly starved and shot at the defenseless victim with BB guns. The Austin Police Department responded to a home on the south side of the city around 9 a.m. October 30th, just in time for Halloween, after a 911 call was made regarding a woman screaming for help and handcuffed to metal exercise equipment in the backyard. Officers arrived to find the unnamed woman suffering from severe injuries, naked from the waist down and shackled to a punching bag stand. Oh, look, they put a bow on the house. Yeah. The first responders quickly attempted to free the woman, but due to the conditions of the restraints, they had to call in the Austin Fire Department to bring special equipment to cut through the metal. The woman showed signs of physical distress and had visible injuries consistent with prolonged restraint. So she's been there a while. As they worked to free the woman, 5 adults inside the home noticed what was happening and tried to flee, but were immediately caught and detained. Let's see how they like shackles, Police also found 2 small children living at the home who were placed in the care of Child Protective Services. The suspects, Michelle Garcia, 51, Crystal Garcia, 21, probably related. Mache, I guess, Carney, 32, Juan Pablo Castro, 30, and Maynard Lefevers, 21, had allegedly held the victim captive for months. So I'm guessing Michelle, being the oldest, is sort of the ringleader here. Oof. The victim told investigators that she'd been friends with Michelle Garcia, but stated that at some point they decided they no longer liked her. Yeah, I would guess. And the 5 decided to keep her as a captive. You see, that's the part I don't get. You don't like her. Seems like you wouldn't want her around. But anyway, she said she was forced to live outside for weeks and beaten whenever she tried to flee. It's unclear when the victim was taken captive and exactly how long she was held. Detectives said the woman was fed just 1 plate of food a day and shackled to a metal exercise stand, sometimes with both wrists locked behind her. I just did what mommy did. Yeah. Michelle Garcia allegedly told investigators she limited the woman to 1 meal a day because she thought the victim had gotten chunky. So this was all some sort of weight loss regimen they were doing. However, investigators said the woman appeared severely malnourished. The victim also said that the night before being found, her pants slipped down and she got in trouble. She was then shot with a BB gun, cuffed to a backyard stand and left there half naked overnight as punishment, while temperatures plunged into the 40s. So her pants slipped off, and so they shot her with BB guns, but then left her there with her pants down. Yeah. My guess is the pants came down when she was trying to escape, something like that. And oh, yeah? Well, let's see how you like it in 40-degree weather with no pants. Anyway, during her captivity, she sustained extensive injuries, including open wounds, severe swelling of the wrists, loss of tissue from her hands and feet. This is even longer than a couple of weeks. Widespread scarring from BB gun pellets and significant face trauma. After she was transported to a local hospital, doctors determined her injuries matched weeks of torture and restraint. I would think it's a little more than that. Scans also found a BB was lodged in her right eye. Jeez, shot her in the face with the BB. Castro allegedly told police he had shot the woman with an electric rifle-style BB gun because he didn't want to touch her. Oh. Well, there's Maynard. And Mache. Yeah. He also allegedly admitted that when he would get home from work, he would grab the BB gun from his closet and chase her around the yard, expressing that he fucking hates her. I guess so. So, after the stress of work, he wants to blow off steam and decides, hey, I know. I'll go outside and torture our prisoner. One of the children found at home, a 4-year-old boy identified as Castro's son, said his dad shot the woman whenever she was bad, and that his mom, Carney, usually stood by and watched. Jesus, they did this in front of the kid, All 5 suspects were arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping, aggravated assault, injury to the elderly. Wow. Wonder how old the victim is, or disabled. I wonder, so is her disability, she was already disabled from some condition, perhaps due to her age? Man, these are just absolute monsters. An unlawful restraint. They are all locked up at the Travis County Jail on $305,000 bail. Well, not enough. You need to up that. These are incredibly serious charges, and most of them should never see the light of day. Carney and Michelle Garcia returned to court. Yeah. The case remains under investigation. Yeah, there's a whole story here. What the hell? What are the odds you find out that it's her house that they're all living in? Jeez. Oh, yeah, this is the leader. Look at that evil, monstrous bitch. But it's not all on her, this asshole. I just really didn't like her, so I chased her around and shot her with a BB gun in the eyes, Holy crap. That kind of torture should be death penalty eligible, But look, they had a happy little bow on the I don't know, the door there. But, it's not an isolated place, at least by this picture. So she's in that yard chained up. And for God knows how long. And nobody heard her screaming and shit. Just mind your own business. Just don't get involved, I guess. But eventually someone said, hey, there's some half-naked, crazy, screaming lady next door. You might want to look at that, Probably just like, I can't take this screaming anymore. I got to call it in. Maybe that was the deal. I don't know, but that is... What a weird story, And all because Hey, look, we just didn't like her. Well, okay, that's kind of obvious, but still, there's people you don't like and you can avoid them, unless the element here is, is that her house, and she felt bad for them and they were friends. And so she said, hey, you guys, you can stay at my place till you get back on your feet, and then, well, that turned out to be quite the mistake. Maybe. I don't know. Or she's someone they took in and she needed help. Well, if you don't like her, it's your place. You can kick her out. Not kick her out in the backyard and tie her up to, the punching bag thing, whatever, and shoot her up with BB guns. That's not hard to figure out. Susan Dolan didn't like her anymore. How big of a biatch was she? Well, I wouldn't think that big. Tired of the perfect storm. It took her 6 months to scream for help. I think she was screaming all along and everybody just looked the other way. I don't know. Maybe someone finally looked over the fence and, oh, hey, she don't have any pants on. I don't know. But then again, what kind of neighborhood is it? There's probably all kinds of screaming and guns going off all the time. Nobody notices. You don't know. Anyway, Time of the Perfect Storm. That was just some light hazing, fraternal orders to do the same kind of thing. Sure. I guess she's not going to be a member now, though. Detlef Gross. Yeah, they do that in prison, too. Castro is going to be chased around the cell with a PP pop gun. Yeah. So, well, some people, they celebrate Halloween in their own way. I guess that's how Garcia does it. I don't know. But somebody had to spoil the party and call the police. Jeez. Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, on to Barbie. Influencer Barbara Jankowski, known as Human Barbie for her plastic surgeries, dies at 31. So, isn't Barbie blonde? But, there she is in that picture. Anyway, Barbara Jankowski, I guess, a Brazilian influencer known on social media as Bonessa de Samano, which roughly translates to Inhuman Doll. Inhuman Doll. Well, wouldn't a doll be inhuman because it's just a piece of plastic, Inhuman Doll. So maybe she isn't human Barbie. She's inhuman. Anyway, she's dead now. She died November 2nd. She was 31. Jankowski, who was commonly referred to online as Human Barbie, well, that's another nickname, I guess, and maintained followings of over 55,000 on Instagram and 344,000 on TikTok for sharing her cosmetic procedures, including a facelift she received in June. Wow, this year? Well, all right. According to a police report obtained by CNN Brazil, 51-year-old public defender Renato Campos Pinto de Vito testified to authorities that he was with Jankowski. I'm sorry, Barbara, I'm getting it wrong. The night of her death, after hiring her for sexual services, and that they had both used illicit substances during their encounter. Okay, so there she's got blonde hair. So she's a prostitute. Okay. When he noticed that, Barbie was not moving after she fell asleep, DeVito told authorities he called the mobile emergency care service and tried to resuscitate her for 9 minutes before doctors arrived at the scene and confirmed her death. According to Sao Paulo State Military Police per CNN Brazil, Barbie's body was discovered by authorities only wearing underwear and with an injury on her left eye and marks on her back. CNN Brazil reported that a friend attributed Barbie's facial injury to previously slipping and falling. The Sao Paulo Public Security Secretariat has requested autopsy and toxicology tests, and the case was registered. As a suspect? You mean as suspect? Suspicious. Well, she's pretty. I don't know how much is, well, I guess we could guess what the plastic surgery. But anyway, Barbie seemingly hadn't updated her social media accounts in over a month. That's odd. At the time of her death, she shared her last post, a video with fellow influencer Avos da Razao on October 1st. In the comments, fans of late internet star posted tributes. Yeah. So they all loved her, told her rest in peace and all that stuff. And, but getting that amount of following on her social media, Instagram and TikTok and all that, it is a bit unusual that suddenly she just drops off. And then next thing you know, she's dead. Yeah, this is a suspicious case. The guy saying, hey, I paid her for sex and we did some blow. And then, she collapsed. Is that how it went? It's possible, but, they said, hey, what about the bruises and stuff, Of course, they did have the friend, but then who's the friend? Is the friend like involved with the dude there too? Oh yeah, I saw her the other day. She fell, thought about saying she fell instead of she ran into a door, which used to be the old, excuse. But yeah, I'm going to chalk this up as to highly suspicious. So yeah. But anyway, that's it for, that human Barbie. Because I've heard of this before, but I guess every now and then there'll be someone, hey, look, I'm getting all this plastic surgery to make myself prettier and to look like Barbie. Some of those, they look freakishly bad. She doesn't look, I don't know what all she did, if it's just a boob job or a nose job or a simple one or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. It's not all that much, but some of those people who, man, they start looking like aliens and stuff. She didn't do that. So, it's all very sad. But most importantly, suspicious. However, all suspects are to be considered innocent until proven guilty. Oh, wait, that's just in this country. This is in Brazil. Yeah, I don't know. Guy's probably screwed in no matter what the deal. So anyway, well, that's all very sad. Castro. Yeah, I did that one. Susan Dolan, druggy neighborhood. Yeah, more than likely. Oh, yeah, Nodak's got a good idea. Just reminds me. Hit the like button. That might be a good thing to do, while you're watching the show. Susan Dolan, no, there are brunette. Oh, you mean brunette Barbies? Okay, I had one as a kid. Never played with it, so my mom used it as a model for handmade Barbie clothes. Huh. Well, see, you didn't play with it much because it wasn't the blonde one. Title of the perfect time. She's got that juju eyeball. Yeah, those were big eyes. Is there a procedure where you can make your eyes bigger? I don't know. Title of the perfect storm. She got DeVito'd. Oh no. Yeah, I guess that's what it's. I mean, it's suspicious, but it could just be an overdose. Whoops. Oh, damn. Susan Dooley. Yeah, I agree, Doug. Madonna was a beautiful girl when she started. She looks like a freak. Yeah, she just keeps chasing that, and it's like, now an old lady's just an old lady, but this is a monster. When you keep chasing that. You can't. You can't. It's sorry. And I mean, look, I can always say, when you're ugly like me, it's great because you age so well. You're not losing so much because you can't lose what you never had. But for the beautiful, yeah, it's got to be really tough, and it does a number on it. But butchering your face is just going to make it worse. I mean, I know there's a couple people had a simple thing here and there, and all right, but whoo. Do you want to look like an alien? I mean, what good is that going to do? Of course, we got that comet, which they say is actually a spaceship. So I guess the invasion is upon us. So maybe we all want to look like aliens now, because that's how they're going to want it. DoorDash driver who went to the wrong address lost 2 feet of his bowels after being shot by a resident whose wife deleted doorbell videos. Ooh. The wife of a New York man who allegedly opened fire on a DoorDash driver who got lost and ended up at their doorstep faces charges of her own in connection with the incident. Earlier this year, John Riley, 48, was charged with attempted murder, assault, and criminal possession of a weapon after police said he fired a gun at a 24-year-old DoorDash driver on the night of May 2nd. Orange County District Attorney David Hoovler said in a Facebook post at the time that the driver, who had not been named, ended up at the Riley's home in Chester after his phone's battery died, not realizing he was at the wrong address. The driver went up to the Riley's front door with a bag of food, asking if they had placed an order. Riley apparently came to the door wielding a gun and told the driver to leave, which he did. When the driver attempted to leave the property in his vehicle, Riley allegedly shot him in the back, causing devastating injuries. Okay, Riley, you are so done. Oh, jeez. News 12 Westchester reported on Riley's arraignment in June when prosecutors said that the driver had been in complete panic mode as he tried to escape. According to Hoovler, the driver underwent emergency surgery to remove 2 feet of his small bowel. When police came to the Riley's home to question him the next day, Riley's wife, Selena Nelson, no relation, Riley, denied knowing anything that happened. Hoovler said in a new post, according to the DA, Nelson Riley allegedly deleted 17 videos from a smart doorbell camera installed at the house. Now, why would she suddenly do that after investigators left her home? Hoovler added that while she was in the process of deleting the videos, investigators came back to ask her something else. Once again, she allegedly told him that she did not know anything about someone coming to her home that previous night. Hoovler stated in his post that Nelson Riley then sent a text message to a friend saying she permanently deleted the video. Oh, boy. Nelson Riley was indicted on charges of hindering prosecution and tampering with evidence. The charges were not bail eligible, and Nelson Riley was released on her own recognizance. She's scheduled to appear in court January 5th, 2026. Riley was charged with attempted murder. Yes. 3 counts of assault and criminal possession of a firearm. He posted $250,000 bail after he was arrested and was ordered to wear an ankle monitor. So the criminal possession of the firearm, I guess he just didn't have the proper license, whatever the laws are there. Was he a convicted felon and something like that? But geez, the guy was leaving. I guess they got the camera footage after all, but you just shot him in the back, blew out his guts. Oh my God. Oh man. The simplest of things, you got lost. It happens. It happened to me. Man. And the guy, and then after the guy says, "Oh, I'm sorry," he said, "Hey, I want you to leave." And he's like, "Okay, man, I'm going." And he hops back to his vehicle, and the guy decides, "Yeah, I'm going to shoot him anyway." I mean, oof. Yeah. But the other lesson is make damn sure your phone's fully charged. That way, you can check the map and stuff and make sure you're at the right house. Maybe that too. I don't know. So that's that for the DoorDash shooting. It seems like a simple enough occupation just to, make deliveries. And then suddenly it became fatal or near fatal. God, he's probably going to have a colostomy bag and all that. Yeah. Jeez. Oof. Ex-boyfriend blows away former lover and her new man with a shotgun. Woman's son calls police and tells them her ex shot his mom. A Minnesota man allegedly broke into his ex-girlfriend's house while she was at home with her new boyfriend and gunned them both down with a shotgun. The woman's child, who was at the residence during the shooting, called police and told him her ex shot his mom. Why do I keep reading the first paragraph? I don't know. Randy Zimmerman, 45, allegedly fled from the Brown County home after the gun attack and traveled to Iowa, where he opened fire on a sheriff's deputy during a high-speed car chase. He pulled a shotgun out of the window during the chase and fired one shot backwards at our deputy, Louisa County Sheriff Brandon Marquardt, told Law and Crime. Iowa cops arrested Zimmerman after they pitted his vehicle into a ditch and ran him down in a field. He was chased and tasered. Zimmerman, who has family ties to Iowa, drove to the state after shooting his ex-girlfriend, who has not been publicly identified, and her new boyfriend, retired firefighter Justin Reinert. So we identified him. Okay. Brown County Dispatch received a 911 call from a juvenile witness who stated that his mom's ex-boyfriend broke into their house and shot his mom. Upon law enforcement entering the house, it was determined that two victims, 50-year-old male victim and 32-year-old female victim, had both died from gunshot wounds. Authorities found two spent shotgun shells in the upstairs bedroom where the couple was killed. They each died from gunshot wounds to the head. Multiple children were inside the residence. I gave you a chance, the ex-girlfriend's son recalled Zimmerman saying to her right before allegedly opening fire. The child said he was asleep and woke up to someone in the home yelling profanities. He allegedly went to investigate and was met by Zimmerman in the hallway outside his bedroom, who ordered him back into the room while pointing his shotgun at the boy. Police say Zimmerman fled in a 2013 Toyota Camry and spent 12 hours on the run before being apprehended in Louisa County, Iowa. A license plate recognition system located him in Washington County. Louisa County and Muscatine County deputies intercepted the suspect being followed by a Washington County deputy near X43 and Highway 92. The suspect vehicle would take off at high rate of speed before any stop was initiated. Zimmerman was allegedly traveling at speeds over 100 miles per hour when he opened fire on the Louisa County deputy, who was not hit. Zimmerman was arrested on felony murder warrants from Minnesota and booked into the Louisa County jail on a $5 million cash-only bond. He waived extradition and was awaiting transport back to Minnesota. He has previously been arrested for stalking, though it's unclear if the charge was related to his ex-girlfriend. He also has past convictions for domestic assault, burglary, and DWI. Iowa police plan to charge him for opening fire on a sheriff's deputy and evading arrest. Well, yeah. We do plan on filing charges, and we'll be asking for a warrant to be issued. So after he's done with his murder trial in Minnesota, I guess they'll extradite him for that trial. Yeah, to add on to the years he's gonna face. Well, all you can conclude here is, what a piece of shit. I mean, whatever the problems was, listen, pal, she moved on. You just got to move on too. But odds are I'm thinking you were the problem. I don't know, just something about it, especially the past record of domestic violence and stalking and all that. It was you, wasn't it? So there you go. What a mess. Debt left gross. Minnesota is the Florida of the Midwest. Really? Wow. Do they get hurricanes and everything too? Tyler, the perfect storm. LOL, this dude could shoot at cops and gets tased. The old dude in Cincinnati runs unarmed, gets 25 rounds in his back. Yeah. Susan Dolan, Doug, it's pronounced Louisa County. Wow. I wonder why it does that. Oh, well. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Wow, look at that. All of a sudden, it's lined up. Okay. I'll go with that. Well, I got to actually put it on screen, though. Well, there it is. Oh, boy. Man admits to fully actually assaulting a woman who was on a walk after his stupid urges took control. All those damn urges. What are you going to do? So, Tristan Allen Loritz, 21, stands accused of criminal sexual conduct, according to a probable cause arrest affidavit prepared by the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office. The 51-year-old victim was walking and talking with a friend on the phone around 8 p.m. October 28th in the 1000 block of Pondview Court in Van Nuys Heights, a Minneapolis suburb. Suddenly, a man came up from behind her and tackled her to the ground, ordering her not to scream. She yelled out to her friend on the phone to call 911. She fought the male. She grabbed his glasses and threw them into the grass. His glasses. Cars drove by, but nobody stopped. She yelled for help. The woman could tell the man was a bigger person as he held her down. She was unable to breathe, the affidavit stated. The male took his forearm and pressed down on her neck. She believed she was going to die. He then proceeded to sexually assault her for 15 to 30 minutes. After the assault was over, the suspect casually walked away. She ran to a nearby home for help. When deputies arrived, she had leaves stuck in her hair and her hands were shaking. She had a red abrasion across her throat and cuts on her face. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension analyzed DNA and came up with a match for Loritz. After hearing about the glasses the victim knocked off during the assault, Loritz family also alerted cops. Well, they just somehow, yeah, we know who that is. After receiving his Miranda rights, Loritz at first denied assaulting the woman, but when confronted with all the evidence, he eventually admitted to his actions. He said he was riding his bicycle when he spotted the woman walking alone. Loritz, allegedly, he thought to himself, fuck it, since I'm a virgin. Oh, so this is his first time? So he watched her for about 5 minutes and then waited for her to pass him. when she did, the 6'8" 248-pound man pounced on her. He allegedly said, "It escalated from there. My stupid urges took control." And Lorette said he fully raped her. Yeah. When he was done, he rode his bicycle home. Loritz has a previous conviction for theft of a motor vehicle and has a pending charge for robbery. He's currently in the Ramsey County Jail. Wow. What a piece of shit. My stupid urges. Damn it. But only after he had beaten her and threw her to the ground and was on top of her. That's when his stupid urges took over, you see. Yeah. This is kind of like that case in Europe where you had the crazy migrant rape some woman and said, "Hey, why would you do that?" Oh, it wasn't even a woman. I think it was an underage girl. It's really awful. And he said, "Well, look, I suddenly had a sexual emergency." Now, in crazy Europe, they said, "Oh," so they let him go. Not the case here for Loritz and his stupid urges. Susan Dolan. A lot of our cities have French names like Des Moines. Remember, the S is silent. Or if Native American origin. Well, yeah, I'm in Louisiana. We got tons of French names. Let's see here. Oh, that's Pete. Oh, jeez. I'm looking at the mugshot of this guy. Boy, he's got to be pissed about it, you know. It's just the logo of the sheriff's department, but it looks like he has curlers in his hair. Anyway, man who felt disrespected shot female driver who refused to apologize for cutting him off. So it's road rage. Well, a grand jury in Arizona indicted a 20-year-old man accused of shooting a female driver in a road rage incident last month, claiming that he felt disrespected when she cut him off and failed to apologize. If only she said, "Oh, my bad," then it'd be all right, you know. But apparently she didn't. Grand jurors returned a true bill instead of a fake one, formally indicting Rudy R. Sanchez Jr. on a spate of felonies, including 1 count each of drive-by shooting and discharging a firearm into a structure, as well as 2 counts of aggravated assault. Well, according to a news release from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office on October 11th, Sanchez shot the woman in the leg while she was driving in the car next to him near Peoria Avenue in the Loop 101. Following the alleged shooting, authorities said Sanchez continued driving, fleeing the scene. The victim told police that she was behind Sanchez's BMW at a red light on Peoria Avenue. When the light turned green, she said Sanchez did not accelerate, so she honked her horn at him. Sanchez reportedly began to drive slowly, so the victim switched lanes and pulled ahead of him. Sanchez then pulled next to the victim on the driver's side of her car and reportedly began yelling curses at her before asking, "What do you want me to do?" The victim responded by telling Sanchez, "You were going too slow." She then looked away from Sanchez, which is when he allegedly shot through her car door and into her left leg before speeding away. In the early morning hours of October 15th, Peoria SWAT and members of the department's Criminal Investigation Division located Sanchez's vehicle at an apartment complex near 47th Street and McDowell Road in Phoenix. At about 5:34 a.m., the SWAT team observed Sanchez exiting the apartment complex and getting into his car, which is when he was taken into custody without incident. Police said Sanchez was in possession of a 9mm handgun and a fired cartridge casing was allegedly recovered from inside his BMW. Following his arrest, Sanchez allegedly made several incriminating statements. While waiting for a transport unit, Rudy Sanchez made an unsolicited admission to a detective. Rudy Sanchez stated to the detective, "Do you want to know why I did it?" He then went on to tell the detective that he did it because he felt disrespected and he was mad. He said that he wanted the female driver to apologize to him for cutting him off, and she didn't. So he shot her. So she's supposed to do this while you're screaming at her, while you're both driving down the road. What an asshole. KTVK reported that the gunshot severely shattered the woman's femur, which was surgically repaired with a metal rod. However, medical experts reportedly said the victim could still potentially lose her left leg. Great going, Sanchez. Well, he's currently being held in Maricopa County Jail in lieu of $250,000 cash only bond. Well, at least you got a silly mugshot out of the deal. Yeah, it looks like you got curlers in your unkempt hair, yeah. Golly, she honked at me and then went around me. I felt disrespected, and it makes me mad. So, of course, I shot her in the leg, and now she's probably going to lose the leg, but oh well. How the hell was she supposed to apologize? Apologize for what? She didn't do anything. Dumbass. Tyler the Perfect Storm sounds like a woman to take a bullet before admitting they're wrong. Oh, Tyler. Well, perhaps you can be a character witness for old Sanchez. I felt disrespected. I don't like being disrespected. I like, being respected. I wonder how much respect he'll get now, Teacher films Halloween night stabbing rampage with cell phone in selfie mode as he butchers a man and injures two women using a buck knife from an animal antler. Okay. A Colorado art teacher allegedly went on a deadly stabbing rampage with a buck knife made from an animal antler. Wow. Plunging it into a man who later died and into two women on Halloween night. Matthew Rainier, I guess, 33 of Colorado Springs, was found fully naked and bloodied while holding a 2-year-old child, oh my God, in his arms. Colorado Springs police received multiple calls for a domestic disturbance that evening and were allegedly told by Rainier upon their arrival that he captured events leading up to the stabbing and during it with his cell phone in selfie mode. He later claimed during police interviews that the attack was done in self-defense. Really? And getting naked was part of the self-defense? I don't know. Matthew repeatedly described a 3-on-1 assault wherein, I guess the victim's name, was attempting to bite off his finger, was attempting to strangle him, and was attempting to rip off his penis and testicles. Well, I imagine you made that possibility much easier by being butt naked. Anyway, Rainier told police that while the alleged assault unfolded, he reached into the closet and grabbed a buck knife and defended himself. The male victim, who is the aforementioned child's uncle, died early Saturday morning after being rushed to a local hospital. The female victims both survived the alleged attack. The victims' names are redacted from the affidavit, and their relation to Rainier is unclear. One of the women allegedly told police that Rainier was keeping her and the other woman away from the child after changing their diaper. Rainier admitted to cops that he didn't have a good reason for why the trio would attack him. Whoops. In the cell phone video that Rainier captured, he can be seen repeatedly holding the camera in selfie mode, while one of the female victims was behind him on a bed, her arms seemingly around his neck. Matthew was observed screaming about being choked and not being able to breathe, but repeatedly escaped from the supposed strangulation. Rainier can be heard screaming something about his testicles before he begins to repeatedly stab the woman. Rainier was completely naked and covered in blood. During the assault, the affidavit says, noting how he allegedly began stabbing the other female victim as well, because, I don't know, she was there. The male victim entered the room after hearing the women screaming and was immediately attacked by Rainier. Rainier's cell phone video captures audio and video of the attack. Women are heard screaming as Matthew is observed repeatedly raising the large fixed blade knife and plunging it in the directions of the man's head and body. Police say they found the knife that Rainier used inside the residence. The handle of the blade appears to be made from the antler of a deer or some other game animal. The knife appeared to be consistent with the decor of the residence, which included several animal skins and mounted skulls. Neighbors told local ABC affiliate KRDO that they saw Rainier outside the home handing out candy earlier in the night. Jesus. I assume he was fully clothed then. No, that was his costume, you know. Local officials confirmed to Law and Crime that Rainier is a former art teacher at the charter school Monument Academy who had his employment terminated over the weekend following his arrest. All right, so he's a former art teacher now because of this. So he wasn't a former art teacher at the time of the attack. Okay. The school district says he served as both an educator and a coach with the junior varsity soccer team at Palmer Ridge High School. Rainier was taken into custody and charged with murder, attempted murder, and assault. He's being held without bail at the El Paso County Jail. Well, something sexual was going on here between him and the women, and it went wrong, and he just freaked out because he's a weirdo. Tried to kill them. The dude comes in. I don't know. Maybe there was originally going to be a four-way. What's that guy doing there anyway? And he gets murdered. I don't know. Probably, no doubt, could throw drugs into the mix, I guess. But the guy had his nephew there. I don't know. Because he's like, okay, why are you naked? I don't know. Why would they want to attack you? Oh, yeah, that's not going to cut it. So he's a weirdo freak, and he finally snapped completely. There you go. And crazies do tend to get naked a lot. So there you go. I think it all fits. Yeah. I'll bet he'll be popular in prison. The naked guy or the guy with the curlers in his hair? Yeah. Why, you have hair like a woman. What? You know what I mean. Wife with a short fuse chased husband around with kitchen knives. Wow, it's like a sitcom scenario, you know. Yeah, she's had it. She ain't taking no crap from nobody. So, okay. Elizabeth Dior was taken into custody last month and charged with 2 counts of felonious restraint and 1 count of aggravated assault and 1 count of misdemeanor domestic assault. Deputies with the Campbell County Sheriff's Office at about 11:39 p.m. on October 15th responded to a call regarding a domestic disturbance at the home Dior shares with her husband in Wright, a small town some 200 miles north of Cheyenne. The caller told the dispatcher that Dior was chasing her husband around their home with a knife. The caller, a male, told the dispatcher that 3 minutes after the initial call was placed, Dior was still armed with a knife and had her husband pinned with his back against a wall as she repeatedly struck him with the non-knife wielding hand. All right. 8 minutes after the initial call had been placed, the man said he heard Dior yell, "You'll be fucking dead." Upon arriving, deputies reportedly said they found the husband, who appeared to be unarmed, sitting in the living room and observed a kitchen knife on the floor. Dior was lying down in the bedroom, appearing to be drunk, but otherwise unharmed. A couple who lived nearby and were at the home during the incident told authorities that Dior had just found out that her husband had been communicating with another local woman. There you go. The whole story is explained. The other couple reportedly said that they had all been hanging out together that evening and Dior had been drinking tequila. Another element to the story. At some point, they said she went into a rage and sent her husband out of the house with the other man. She then reportedly cut up her husband's ID cards before dousing his clothing in bleach. When the husband returned, their fight continued to escalate until Dior allegedly grabbed a filet knife and chased her husband around, slashing with the knife while threatening to kill him. When her husband locked himself in the bathroom, Dior allegedly responded by yelling, "I'm going to kill you, motherfucker," and stabbing the door until she bent the filet knife. That's when the neighbors said Dior went back to the kitchen and picked up a butcher's knife, which she allegedly used to chase her husband around after he exited the bathroom. The altercation reportedly ended when Dior fell to the floor. Her husband said she was overheating with the steam coming out of her ears. And he brought her to the bathroom and put her in a cold shower. She was later taken to the hospital where medical personnel said she likely had suffered an epileptic seizure due to her body temperature. After being medically cleared, Dior was placed under arrest and processed at the Campbell County Detention Center. Inside the home, investigators reportedly noted that sections of the bathroom door had been repeatedly slashed and stabbed with what appeared to be a knife. Despite the allegations against Dior, her husband reportedly wrote a letter to the court claiming that she did nothing wrong. Oh, no. And the witnesses were not even inside the home during the alleged attack. She is an amazing mother and a better wife, he wrote. She might have a short fuse, but she has never done anything like this before. It was not immediately clear if Dior was still in detention or when she is scheduled to appear in court again. Yeah, he was, he's like, "I didn't call him, honey. It wasn't me. It was our so-called friends. No, it wasn't me, babe. No." Hey, you think the filet knife was part of a set that he bought her for like their anniversary or Christmas or something like that? Well, even after all that, when she collapsed, he picked her up, carried her to the shower, tried to cool her down. Does she deserve him? Jeez. So, found out he was talking to some other woman. Is there something going on? Maybe. But it's even more so if this other woman was an ex-girlfriend. Then it's like, okay. And, well, she got upset. Yeah, she doesn't like that. So, that's how that works. That's how that works. Taz, the resident artist, says, duh. Oh, that's me. Susan Dolan says both. Oh, yeah, the guys go to prison. Yeah, they're going to learn a new way of living. Taz, the resident artist, says, love Chew. Oh, my God. I had no idea. My God, Taz. I'll have to think about that. I mean, I've always liked you, okay? And when you bring the word love into this, Susan Dolan says, hey, Taz. Time of the Perfect Storm, she was hotter than hell. Yeah. And just stick her in the shower and calm that down. Apparently it worked. That might be something to consider for these other disputes, Look, just pick her up, put her in the shower, keep the water on cold. After a while, she's like, I just got really upset. Yeah, I know. Time of the Perfect Storm, as a wife and with a knife. A wife with a knife is like a little kid's with a knife. You're just taking it and giving them a spanking, or you take it and give them a spanking rather than the shower. Yeah. Yeah, he might have gotten, a little something extra out of the whole deal. All right, I need you guys to leave. Our little party's over. I mean, for you it is. He's like, damn it, if they hadn't called the police, that's usually how these fights end up, And I get to wreck that. And you guys ruined it. Woman admits to booty call arson attack. Whoa. She did all that. Wow. Look at that. Man, she was pissed. In a court hearing, Tyja Russell, 35, copped to aggravated arson, a second-degree felony in a plea deal. Prosecutors have agreed to recommend an 8-year prison term, of which Russell will be statutorily required to serve 85%, or more than 6.5 years. Russell was indicted on 5 other charges, including attempted murder and aggravated assault. As part of the deal, prosecutors will move to dismiss those counts when she is sentenced on January 9th. As detailed in court records, Russell had traveled to the Woodbury home of victim Curtis Stokes, who told cops he invited the defendant to his residence to have sexual intercourse. Stokes added that Russell was a side chick with whom he had been having sex. The pair's pre-dawn communication had consisted of Russell texting Stokes, hello, to which he romantically responded, bring your ass. By the time Russell arrived, Stokes had fallen asleep. And did not respond to her at the door. Incensed, Russell sent a text complaining that you wasted my money to come out here. Receiving no reply, Russell then texted a series of threats. You smoked. I see you want to die, and I swear to God, I hope you die. Russell then went into a Conoco gas station and purchased lighter fluid, matches, and a cigarette lighter. She returned to Stokes' home and set a fire outside the rear apartment's sole entrance exit. Stokes told police he awoke to the smell of smoke and was unable to leave by the door as the fire was too intense. Stokes, who suffered first and second-degree burns, forcefully removed an entire window frame to escape, wearing only a T-shirt and covered head to toe in soot and ash. Only a T-shirt? You mean Ew. He ran to the nearby police headquarters to report the blaze. He was later treated at a local hospital for burns and smoke inhalation. The criminal case against Russell has, for unknown reasons, dragged on for more than 6 years. Wow. What the hell? During that period of time, Russell gave birth to a child who could be seen with her during one video court appearance. Yeah, I wonder if Curtis here is the Bibidaddy. Oh man. I mean, look, I know you're upset, but oh boy, that horniness turns to brutal rage, when denied. But I mean, look, she's like, hey, he started it. He calls her up. Bring your ass. And then her probably, rage at just being the side chick finally boiled over because, he wasted her time. She thought she was getting the D and she didn't get nothing. So that's it. I'm burning it all down. And so she did. Yeah. Yeah. Tyler, the perfect storm, another hot ass bish. Yeah. Detlef, gross, great band name. Hot ass bish. Yeah, I guess so. Where's the? Oh, there it is. There we go. So, yeah, I couldn't get a teacher. Well, I guess that crazy teacher who was naked and murdered that guy with the buck knife. But that's not the kind of teacher scandals like to do. So we didn't get any this time around. So, but we got a Mile High Club story. So there's that. That's something. It's something. Mile High duo gets off. The married couple arrested for allegedly joining the Mile High Club in view of other JetBlue passengers has gotten off. Prosecutors have declined to pursue felony charges against Trista Riley, 43, and Christopher Arnold, 42, who were en route to Sarasota, Florida from New York City when they engaged in lewd or lascivious exhibition. Following the pair's July 19th arrest by Sarasota Airport Authority police, prosecutors consented to the defendant's release on their own recognizance while they investigate jurisdiction. The case review resulted in October 30th court notices revealing that prosecutors had dropped criminal charges against Riley and Arnold, who reside in Connecticut. The court filings do not cite a reason for the declination or whether the decision was related to the legal question of jurisdiction. Well, what the hell? A female passenger told cops that she was traveling with her 2 children. Oh, Jesus. When during the takeoff from JFK International Airport, she spotted a woman later identified as Riley jerking off her male companion. She noticed that my 2 kids were watching them and they didn't stop. After that, she was laying on him like if she was doing oral flags. Well, Brian Zepp, a JetBlue flight attendant, he was really horrified, told police that several youths and their mother had witnessed Riley and Arnold performing in sexual activity on board JetBlue Flight 163 JFK to SRQ. Zepp added that he walked to Miss Riley's seating area in the 25th row and witnessed her making up and down movements with her head while she was face down on Mr. Arnold's lap. Well, She dropped a quarter and was looking for it. It can happen. Investigators noted that further investigation indicated that Miss Riley was seen by two underage youths performing oral flags and jerking off Mr. Arnold. It is unknown if Riley, a medical receptionist, and Arnold, a general contractor, will be welcome on future JetBlue excursions. Yeah, the blue doesn't refer to certain types of behavior. They're just really cheap. That's the idea. But geez, I don't know what the deal is. They say, well, we're not going to pursue it. But I mean, the really worst part about it is they did this in front of these kids. I mean, you would think that would carry some serious consequences. I don't know. And it's the jurisdiction because the plane was in the air. So I don't know. Oh, well. Boy, there's been other instances of people getting busted for that crap. So what the hell? Were there any jurisdiction questions there? It says, hey, you can fuck on the airplane and it doesn't matter because they can't do nothing because they don't have jurisdiction of the air. Hello. Oh, well. I'm not a lawyer. I just occasionally dress like one. Title of the Perfect Storm. Damn, they had all them pistols and scissor up on the plane. Well, anyway, there we go. At least that, typically I like to have a lighter note story. And that one will suffice, except, of course, the kids. But at least there was no murders or anything. So, there's that. But now I got to ruin everything by this story. I mean, it's not a murder or anything like that, but, well, it's interesting. CNN's Van Jones among those raising alarm at Mom Donnie's instant character switch after winning power. What do you mean? Lefty luminary Van Jones among those raising alarm at Democratic Socialist Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani's rage-filled victory speech, noting his instant character switch at winning power. A roaring Mamdani wasted no time in claiming a mandate for his potentially budget-busting progressive agenda and taunting President Trump as he rallied his fired-up supporters soon after winning the Tuesday night election. Jones was quick to note, live on CNN, that the 34-year-old's triumphant demeanor was a far cry from the cool, calm, and collected candidate seen on the campaign trail. Really? You're stunned by that? It's almost as if the mask came off. It's almost as if he was baring his fangs. Yes. I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, was a lot more warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. Yeah, he doesn't have to bother with that anymore. I can stop doing that BS. Now I'm in. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. That's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and, stuff like that. It sounds like a magician, Anyway, I felt like it was a little bit of a character switch here, he continued, noting that the once warm, open, embracing guy had seemingly vanished. It didn't vanish. It was never there. Anyway, the Democratic pundit who worked as an advisor in the Obama administration suggested Mamdani, who would have been better off trying to appease New Yorkers wary of his agenda. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? No, you can't. Is he going to include me? No, he just wants your money. Is he going to be more of a class warrior, even in office? Well, sorta. I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. He doesn't want them, just their money. He's very young, and he just pulled off something very, very difficult. I wouldn't write him off. Yeah. But I think he missed an opportunity to open himself up tonight. And I think that will probably cost him going forward. Yeah, I mean, it's New York. It's nuts that it happened at all. I mean, it's so I wouldn't bet against him. He'll probably get reelected. Mom Donnie will be the Big Apple's first Muslim, first South Asian, and first socialist. No, he's the first two. You're right. Socialist merit? No, he's not the first. Declared victory some 2 hours after polls closed. The Democrat carried 50.4% of votes to independent candidate Andrew Cuomo's 42% at 12 a.m., with nearly 98% of precincts reporting. The conventional wisdom would tell you that I am far from the perfect candidate. I am young, despite my best efforts to grow older. You'll grow older, but you'll never grow up. I am Muslim. I am a democratic socialist. And most damning of all, I refuse to apologize for any of it. No one asked you to. They don't want you forcing all this crap. But that's what you're going to do. Ma'am Donnie declared during his 20-minute speech, New York, tonight you have delivered a mandate for change. Yeah. Well, somewhat. They've been through this before recently. You had a previous communist mayor in de Blasio, but hey, let's try it again. A mandate for a new kind of politics. It's not new. It's really old. Tired. Tried. All right, you're young, so you still believe the con to some extent, I guess, but it doesn't work. A mandate for a city that we can afford. You won't. And a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. Well, you voted for free shit. And in a way, you're going to get it. It's not really free, but it seems so because you're not paying for it. But it is shit. Shit is what you're going to get. Because Zoran is full of it. So congratulations. There you go. There you go. But Van Jones, he should have been nicer about that. I mean, he's probably full of shit on that too. I don't know. Jockeying for some position here with where this goes. But nothing about that shocked me at all. So there you go. Yeah, I think they're seriously going to relocate the stock exchange to Texas. Yes, you should. Why is everything so expensive? Yeah. Yeah, how's that happen? You got to make them pay their fair share. Well, how are they going to pay for that? With their money. Where do they get their money from? From the stuff they sell. And their stuff keeps getting expensive. They have taxes to pay. What? Tyler, the perfect storm. Poojit mayor. Poojit? I don't know. Mayors who would have thunk it. Susan Dolan, typical of champagne socialists. Yes. That's the thing. He's a pampered little prince, mama's boy. He's never had a job. He tried to be a rapper, tried to get into the movies. His mom directed a film that he was in and all that sort of stuff. It's just been coddled all along. And now he's finally going to grow up at what was well, early 30s, and be the mayor of one of the largest cities in the world. So, all right. Yeah. He sits there, oh, I'm going to make it for you. Like, I speak to the little man and all that. Doesn't understand any of those people. Has no respect for them either. Because, these dupes voted me in. So, you can have an argument for why should he? But yeah, that's mostly the deal. And just blah, 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 socialism and stuff. Yeah. So he's paying for his campaign with rich people's money. Now he wants middle class money to turn everyone poor. Yeah, because the middle class will be all that's there. They're the ones who can't afford to just pick up and leave. He'll try to come up with some schemes. They've always been doing that where, okay, you can leave, but your money can't. That is like, no. So that's the kind of thing. These guys, they'll rush in and they'll seize whatever cash is available, but you kill the golden goose immediately. So for barely a year, you've got extra funds to put into this or that. And then poof, it's all gone. Everything collapses. And then he really starts to bare his fangs because people are like, hey, what the hell? And you think, well, and that's when they're going to learn. No, they won't. It's all very sad, but you got to give up. New York belongs to the blue. And I don't think we'll live to see the day it comes back. There's no Giuliani coming or any of that. So Susan Dola, once he starts implementing Sharia law and women must wear head-to-toe burqas, talk in whispers, and don't go outside your house without a male relative or risk rape. Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know if that can happen under his regime, but it depends on how much of the population you have. And just out the outset, his own mother said, yes, he doesn't identify as an American. Well, I don't think that's a problem. Plus, it's an odd thing to try to meld communism with Islam, which, pure communism, you're supposed to be an atheist. But, they kind of learned that the hard way. It was tough trying to get people to give up their religion, So the hardcore, of course, did. But after a while, then they say, well, we'll just infiltrate the religion. So I guess that's what he's doing, And, whatever it takes to get the power, strange bedfellows and all that. And then once I'm pretty secure at it, we'll wipe out the other guys who got us there, that kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know. And of course, it's like, well, it's his religion. That's just the way it is. Sure. But he's hanging out with guys who celebrated 9/11 and stuff like that. And then he makes up this BS story about an aunt who was, abused and attacked for having her jihad on or whatever, and after 9/11. And this is the Islamophobia. And that's Islamophobia was the tragedy of 9/11, not the mass murder, that kind of thing. And so you already know the attitude there. He's an extremely bigoted man. He's going to preach about bigotry. And that's the irony of it all. And beyond all the other factors as well. And of course, he's full of shit. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't have anything. That stupid old con of free shit. But when you want to believe something, you'll believe it. Things are going to get so much worse. It's pretty bad already. Now, I don't know. It's like the fire chief, he resigned. I don't know if the police because the police commissioner, she was actually starting to make kind of sense on some of the topics, because I cover a lot of this for Pat's show over at Crime Report, and I was like, well, she's saying some of the right things and stuff. He's probably going to give her the boot unless she bends the knee, So And he's talking about like violence is a social construct or some crap like that. It's nuts, you know. I mean, de Blasio was bad, but yee. So I'd say good luck, but I know it's pointless, you know, because it's bad. Muhammad was a white man. That's why they don't like you to depict the prophet. It's the prophet. That's not how you spell prophet. Well, that's news to me. All right. No super tips. Well, I tried. All right. So that's that. That's Nailsin News. That'll be that. And probably won't get to another live stream until Monday, if that. Well, Monday evening, I suppose. I don't know about the weekend morning ones. If I fill up to it, I'll try to jump in and try to get an hour in on that. But that was becoming increasingly harder to do. But anyway, it's back to work for me tomorrow. And so hopefully we can visit again. Well, probably Monday, Monday evening, maybe Monday morning, but I just, I caution on that. So there you go. Have a good rest of your night or morning or what have you. And we'll visit again soon. Huh? He had red hair and gray eyes. Who, Muhammad? I don't know. Not supposed to depict him, right? You know, all that. Yeah. Whatever. I really don't care what anyone's religion is. I just don't want all the force and murder, you know? And theocracy is blasphemy. You want to know what theocracy is? Well, that's the means by which man becomes God by proxy. See, the guy in charge says, you better be good to me because I got God's phone number and you don't. There, that's it. But it's blasphemous to assume the position of God. See? Yeah. Well, on that thought, have a good rest of your night. And again, we'll do it again soon. I got to go to my thing here. Jeez. When am I ever going to be able to do this smoothly? You know, like a professional. I don't know. Stick around. Maybe we'll find out.
Killers, killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News.